Business Book Summaries.
Turning pages, changing games, where every book is a new frontier. Set boundaries, find peace. A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself by Nedra Glover Tawwab. Unraveling the mysteries of healthy boundaries. Achieving work-life balance, navigating challenging relationships, and fostering genuine connections with others all hinge on one fundamental concept: healthy boundaries. But what exactly are healthy boundaries, and how can we assertively express our needs without causing offense? In her instant New York Times bestseller, Set Boundaries, find peace, licensed counselor, and renowned relationship expert Nedra Glover Tawwab tackles these questions head-on. With a relatable and inclusive approach, Tawwab demystifies the complex topic of boundaries, offering simple yet powerful strategies for establishing them in every facet of life. Drawing from the latest research in cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT techniques, Tawwab guides readers through the process of identifying and articulating their needs with clarity and confidence. By unraveling the underlying issues behind codependency, power struggles, anxiety, depression, and burnout, readers learn to cultivate healthier relationships and reclaim their sense of freedom and authenticity.
Before we delve further, remember that we regularly share new content. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel Business Book Summaries and hit the notification bell for the latest updates.
Set Boundaries. Find Peace is not just a book. It's a roadmap to liberation, a journey towards embracing who you truly are, speaking up for what you need, and experiencing the profound peace that comes with living life on your own terms. Creating healthy boundaries for peaceful relationships. Exploring the path to rediscovering yourself. Ever been told to set boundaries for a peaceful life? But what does that mean exactly? At first glance, it might sound like building walls to keep others out, but in reality, boundaries are about creating safe spaces that bring people closer together. Unfortunately, many misunderstand or underestimate their importance in relationships, leading to frustration, resentment, and conflicts over trivial matters. The following insights aim to help you address unhealthy boundary issues in your relationships. By learning to express your feelings and assert your needs. But how do you know if you need boundaries? Signs you need boundaries. 1. Do you often feel overwhelmed or burnt out by excessive work? 2. Do you struggle to say no to requests from others? 3. Do you find yourself avoiding certain people due to discomfort? If you answered yes to any, you might be neglecting your own needs for the sake of others. Boundaries are about standing up for yourself and ensuring that you're treated in a way that aligns with your comfort. Understanding boundaries. Boundaries come in various forms beyond physical space. There are sexual, emotional, intellectual, material, and time boundaries. Each serves to protect different aspects of our well-being and ensure mutual respect in relationships. While some boundaries, like personal space, are understood culturally. Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries isn't always easy. Many fear being perceived as rigid or overly sensitive. However, failing to set boundaries only deteriorates relationships over time. Like a cell membrane, healthy boundaries strike a balance between being receptive to positive influences and blocking out negativity. Too porous boundaries lead to absorbing others' emotions, while overly rigid ones result in isolation. In essence, most relationship issues stem from boundaries that are either too loose or too rigid. By establishing healthy boundaries, you pave the way for more fulfilling and harmonious connections in the long run. Understanding boundaries, from porous to rigid. Boundaries in relationships come in various forms, ranging from porous to rigid. Porous boundaries are weak and overly flexible, often characterized by a lack of emotional separation and a tendency to please others excessively. At its extreme, porous boundaries lead to emotional enmeshment and codependency. Enmeshment occurs when there's a blurred line between the emotional lives of two individuals, often seen in couples who are inseparable, spending every moment together. Codependency is a more unbalanced form of enmeshment, where one person dedicates themselves to solving all of the other's problems, neglecting their own needs in the process. Those with porous boundaries need to focus on reclaiming their autonomy, starting by establishing physical and emotional distance and prioritizing self-care practices. On the opposite end of the spectrum are rigid boundaries, where it's challenging to form close connections with others. Counterdependency represents the extreme form of rigid boundaries, characterized by emotional distance and an inability to express vulnerability. An example of counterdependency is abruptly ending a relationship when the other person expresses affection. The solution for rigid boundaries lies in practicing vulnerability and cultivating close relationships. This involves expressing feelings, seeking help when needed, and allowing oneself to love. Healthy boundaries lie somewhere between porous and rigid. They balance self-care with consideration for others' needs, fostering mutual respect and understanding. Communication is vital in setting boundaries. Passive aggressiveness, a common yet ineffective communication style, involves acting out feelings instead of directly addressing them. It often leads to frustration and misunderstanding, especially in romantic relationships where partners may expect telepathic understanding. Direct communication of boundaries involves verbal assertion followed by consistent action. Assertiveness is key, expressing needs openly without attacking others. It's crucial to avoid excessive apologizing or explaining, as it may signal negotiability. Setting boundaries doesn't end with communication. Consistent action is essential. This includes modeling expected behavior and respecting others' boundaries. Mutual respect forms the foundation of healthy relationships, where honoring each other's boundaries ensures reciprocity. While asserting boundaries may seem daunting, it's a crucial aspect of maintaining healthy relationships. Through clear communication and consistent action, boundaries become a source of mutual respect and understanding. Navigating boundaries, asserting yourself with grace. In our daily lives, fears and worries often hold us back from expressing our true feelings. We engage in mental gymnastics, fearing conflict or negative perceptions. However, the reality is that most people will respect direct requests as long as they are communicated politely. Yet, not everyone responds maturely to boundaries. Some may question or test your limits, while others may ignore them altogether. Such responses often indicate a need to reassess the relationship's dynamics. The crux lies in addressing boundary violations by issuing consequences. While minor infractions can be overlooked, persistent violations require action. This may involve restating boundaries or implementing consequences, such as limiting access or distancing oneself from the relationship. It's essential to remember that you have the power to choose how you allocate your time. You're not obliged to invest in relationships that disregard your boundaries or drain your energy. Setting boundaries doesn't imply a lack of care. Rather, it's about safeguarding your well-being. Boundaries aren't solely about how others treat us, they're also about self-respect and self-care. Healthy boundaries entail cultivating a positive relationship with oneself. This involves refraining from activities that don't serve you and embracing practices that promote well-being. Good self-care extends beyond occasional indulgences. It's about authenticity and honoring your needs. This might mean saying no when your plate is full or prioritizing activities that bring joy and fulfillment. By respecting your boundaries, you preserve energy for meaningful pursuits and nurturing relationships. In essence, self-boundaries aren't restrictive. They empower you to align with your values, nurture healthy relationships, and live authentically. They're a testament to self-respect and a vital aspect of personal growth and fulfillment. Navigating boundaries, from family dynamics to workplace balance. Family dynamics can often be a battlefield when it comes to setting boundaries, especially in parent-child relationships. These dynamics, built over decades, aren't easily altered overnight. Yet, setting boundaries within the family is essential for personal growth and maturity. Failure to assert boundaries during development can result in individuals never truly transitioning into adulthood. For instance, the story of a woman whose marriage suffered due to her husband's inability to make decisions without consulting his mother highlights the significance of implementing family boundaries. Setting boundaries with family members involves creating both physical and emotional distance. This may mean reducing the frequency of interactions and withholding intimate details of personal life to maintain privacy. Furthermore, asserting one's will is crucial in establishing boundaries. This involves solving one's problems independently, expressing opinions freely, and making decisions autonomously, even if they contradict family views. It's essential to recognize that boundaries work both ways. Parents must respect children's boundaries, reinforcing healthy assertiveness and fostering positive relationships. In the professional realm, overwork is pervasive, with many individuals exceeding the standard 40-hour workweek. Despite entitlement to paid time off, millions of vacation days remain unused annually in the United States. Setting boundaries in the workplace is essential for maintaining a healthy work-life balance and improving overall well-being and productivity. This entails overcoming the notion that saying yes to every request is synonymous with being a good employee. Practicing delegation, setting limits on social interactions during work hours, and communicating workload concerns with superiors are vital strategies in establishing boundaries at work. While setting boundaries with employers may be daunting, it's crucial for personal well-being and professional success. Effective communication of limits ensures a more sustainable and fulfilling work experience for all. It's crucial to recognize that being a good employee doesn't mean sacrificing your well-being for the sake of work. Saying no to additional responsibilities doesn't make you less valuable. Rather, it allows you to focus on your existing tasks and deliver quality results. Moreover, completing tasks within designated working hours is essential for maintaining a healthy work-life balance. Practicing delegation and setting boundaries on social interactions during work hours can help ensure productivity without sacrificing personal time. If workload becomes overwhelming despite these efforts, it's important to communicate with your boss. While it may seem intimidating, expressing your limits is far better than silently suffering the consequences of overwork. In summary, setting boundaries in the workplace is crucial for personal well-being and professional success. By asserting your limits and effectively managing workload, you can achieve a balance that promotes both productivity and personal fulfillment. Discovering boundaries, a path to freedom and connection. Once you've experienced the peace and empowerment that comes with setting boundaries, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. But what's the cornerstone of a successful romantic relationship? Communication. Poor communication often leads to divorce, breakup, and therapy seeking. But at its core, poor communication often stems from an inability to assert boundaries. Couples who struggle to assert their boundaries may resort to ineffective communication methods like passive aggressiveness. However, learning to make clear, direct requests can transform relationships. Many fear that asserting boundaries will push their partner away, but in reality, honest communication fosters understanding and reduces conflict. Setting romantic boundaries means openly communicating your needs and expectations for the future. Ideally, these conversations should happen early in the relationship to prevent misunderstandings and heartache down the line. Topics like marriage, children, finances, household responsibilities, and fidelity should be discussed openly and honestly. If you've been avoiding these conversations, it's time to have a difficult discussion. Uncomfortable conversations may seem daunting, but they're essential for relationship growth. By addressing conflicts and setting boundaries, you can breathe new life into your relationship. In summary, many life problems stem from an inability to set healthy boundaries. By identifying areas where you need clearer boundaries, asserting your needs confidently, dealing maturely with discomfort, and backing up your boundaries when necessary, you can improve your quality of life. To start, try the following exercise. Create 3 columns on a piece of paper. In the first column, list the boundaries you'd like to set. In the second, write polite yet assertive statements expressing your boundary. In the third, outline consequences if your boundary isn't respected. This action plan will help you finally establish the boundaries you need for a happier, more fulfilling life. Remember, planning what you're going to say in advance can help you navigate difficult conversations more effectively. By following this exercise, you'll have a clear action plan for setting those much-needed boundaries in your life. Implementing boundaries isn't always easy, but it's a vital step toward personal growth and healthier relationships. As you assert your needs and establish boundaries, furthermore, setting boundaries isn't just about saying no, it's also about saying yes to yourself. By prioritizing your well-being and honoring your needs, you're investing in your own happiness and fulfillment. As you navigate the journey of setting boundaries, remember that it's okay to seek support from trusted friends, family members, or even a therapist. Surrounding yourself with a supportive network can provide encouragement and guidance as you work to create healthier boundaries in your life. In conclusion, setting boundaries is a transformative process that can lead to greater freedom, fulfillment, and healthier relationships. By taking the time to identify your needs, assert your boundaries, and communicate effectively, you're taking proactive steps toward creating a life that aligns with your values and brings you joy.
We're keen to hear your thoughts on our content. Feel free to share your opinions or recommend books in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel Business Book Summaries and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest summaries. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.